true. Rejection hurts, loneliness hurts, envy hurts, and losing someone hurts. Everyone gets these things mixed up with love. But in reality, love is the only thing in this world that can cover up all pain and all hurt. Love is the thing that makes people feel wonderful again. Love, if it is true and is real, can never hurt.
Have you gotten something this morning? Now this is the fun part. I'm going to be inviting my guest very soon. In fact, I'm going to be ushering her even onto the stage now. My guest, her name is Sharon Madden, and she's the CEO of Zeez Beez. Zeez spelled Z-E-E-Z, B-E-E-Z. And like I was telling you, she's someone that keeps working with bees, keeps getting stung, but she keeps getting the honey. Now, all these products that you can see are things that the company actually produces. And we just want to learn from what it means to keep getting stung, but to keep going back into the same situation because you have something awesome that you want to get from that particular situation. So, can you just put your hands and welcome with me, Sharon Madden. Yeah. Hi, Sharon. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, have your seat, please. Oh, I'm sure too, okay? So maybe we'll sit at the edge of the chair.
Oh, yeah, that might be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. This is cool?
This is cool.
Yeah, awesome. Can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Good.
Do you want me to yell?
You can hear Sharon too?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, cool. All right, so like I said, this is the fun part. Sharon, you do something that few people actually do.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Especially being a girl, yes.
Being a girl,
Yeah.
all right? So, but before, look, like I said, you're gonna enjoy this. Before we go into this, we actually went to Sharon's farm and we took some shots. So I want to play that for you first, so at least you have an idea of, you know, what Sharon's normal day, you know, will probably look like. So, just look at the screen.
I haven't seen it. Do you want what suits?
Probably.
Yeah?
Pink most.
Oh, you scared. You'll be alright, I promise.
Anywhere
You
you
can
take
tell.
pills.
I mean, you take it.
So this is where all the honey gets extracted. I'll open this. the frames go in there, and then that all spins around, and all the honey comes out. So that's an extractor. That holds 30 frames. And then, as it settles, the wax comes to the top, and then we clean that off manually, and then that goes through another food grade sieve, and then that's when it gets jarred. Then it goes into storage after a couple of months, and that's going to be jarred slowly as it's ordered. So it all gets jarred for each individual order. So we don't keep anything, except for markets. Markets is here. So everything that gets ordered gets done for each order. It's not kept always. These are all the beeswax wraps, and this is how we utilise our wax. So then all the fabric, I get cotton fabric from the local ladies, so all the offcuts and stuff, and then I cut them up, and then we wax these up, and then we'll sell them as, you know, alternative to plastics and stuff. We stuff on top. All the wax that comes off then gets rendered, it goes through a melter, and we can use it for like lip balms and hair creams and.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling
Oh, really?
pretty.
Get strong going.
They don't bite, they don't stink.
Ready to work with some bees.
Nice. So bees today will probably be a little bit tired. A little bit angry because they're afraid. And if they get inside your suit, you just need to walk away calmly down the orchard and sort it out. Because occasionally they get inside your suit, but you don't want to flap. That's the worst thing you can do. You just want to be calm and walk away. Right?
How did they get you?
They do, believe me. They do. They're tenacious and they like little holes and they get in.
Yeah, I'm ready for the gig. Guys, ready to rock and roll with me? We're going into the beat.
I know how to feel about this, man. Like, I'm legit scared like this. I don't even know. He's like, oh, he gets the beast needs to get to the suit. Like, how? How? This is, why don't they just make one long suit?
That's me. Already in my moon suit. Yeah, my moon suit. Epic.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh my goodness.
So funny.
Okay, so the whole idea is I smoke them, and it doesn't make them go away, but it'll just make them busy inside. So I give them a bit of, these got ventilation holes in here. So there's a little bit of ventilation, like that, and we just break this in. Okay, so this is red gum honey. You can tell straight away by the colour.
Yep, and see how it's...
And this is their family room down here.
Okay.
And this is basically the kitchen above. Okay, so that's all red gum.
Okay, and that's been freshly capped, so the colour of the caps are nice and white and pale.
See how you can tell red gum's real
See how it's stringy? It's
real
falling off
stringy?
the top.
It's really cool, look. I love it. Basically, this is the family room, and this here, out of the pupa. So see how this one's bigger? That's a male, so that's a drone. These are all female. So the numbers of drones now, the number of male will diminish because it's coming into winter.
You guys are holding it, yeah?
Okay, she's superseded, babe. That's not the original. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's her. She's not the original though, she's a daughter, I'd say, because she's slightly different to what I put in. I remember what I used to.
I just want to give you just
Does
want
it
to
show
show.
me why?
I just want to show the page without taking. Oh no.
No, you're all right. He wants to show you something.
I can tell you that that's an experience you should have. You know, we had so much fun, you know, but we had to run away. Yeah. Because we didn't want to get.
They were fine.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Sharon, so Sharon, tell our audience how did you get into this business? Like I said, look, you don't come to meet people who are in this kind of business, you know, every day. How did
it was
you?
by default.
Okay.
My husband is a crane driver by his job. He's a crane driver. It used to be anyway. And his boss that he worked for decided he would keep bees. This was about 8 years ago. And so hubby came home with a Hessian bag one day and handed me his bag. I was like, what is that? He said, oh, it's a beehive. And his boss had given him this bag of bees. And I said, well, what do I do with it? Like, what do I do with a bag of bees? I know nothing about bees. So I get this bag, I stick it gently in the back of our car, which wasn't a ute, so it's inside the car. And I drive down to look up all this information. What do I do with them? So I went down to Guilfoyle's, whom I'm still in touch with. And they showed us, gave me all the equipment, which cost a fortune, drove home and put this thing together, painted it, plonked these bees in there and hoped for the best. That was the best thing we ever did. Because from there, I learned the most amazing things from such a tiny, tiny creature. It was. I'm so glad we got given that bag of bees because it was something probably I never would have looked at otherwise. Wow. It was cool. I love it.
So Sharon, how long have you been doing this?
About 8 years,
8
roughly.
years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Together, my husband and I, for 2 years now.
Okay.
So we've made it actually a family business now. So yeah, about that one.
Awesome. So what do you like the most about what you do? Don't tell me the sting.
No, I don't like the sting.
Okay.
If anyone says they like the sting, they're lying.
Okay.
But the most I like is the bees themselves. Everything else is a byproduct. But the bees themselves are amazing. Like, to actually be in a beehive and smell what I can smell, you would remember this. The smell is awesome, but what they can do as such a small creature and their persistence and their endurance and the effort they put in every single day, come rain, hail or shine, they all work together as a unit and they're just amazing. They really are amazing. I love watching them. I love watching them care for their family. I love what they can do. The honey's amazing, yes, but they themselves, my biggest pleasure is introducing people to them.
Wow.
So I do classes because that's my love, is showing people how they are and how they can do anything. For such a small animal, what they can accomplish is amazing. Like, they pollinate all your fruit, all your veggies, like so much stuff. That tiny, tiny creature.
Right.
And it doesn't give up. It just keeps going and going and going and going. It never stops. Never ever stops. Amazing.
So basically, Sharon, you're very clear about why you do what you do.
Yeah.
You're very clear about what you get from the bees.
Yeah.
You're very clear about the characteristics of the bees.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
But
them.
what about the sting? How do you handle that?
Well, originally the sting is very unpleasant.
Okay.
Okay, so when I first got stung, I actually had a really bad reaction. So I had tracking, which is my legs swelled, I had the red line that ran up, I had hives all over me. It was not pleasant. So I said to my husband, it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse. So I could have stopped because, I mean, it wasn't very nice. It was really horrible. I'd never been stung, by the way, not as a child. So this was the first time I'd been stung like 10 years ago, 10 years ago. So I thought, nah, I'll just keep trying. So I went back and we've got stung heaps. I've been stung probably thousands of times now. Literally, probably more than thousands. But it got better. Now the sting never doesn't hurt, don't get me wrong. It still hurts every single time I think, oh, really? But it's not as bad. You get over it. I know it may or may not happen, but it doesn't. I don't think about it now. I don't think, oh my goodness, I'm going to work, I'm going to get stung. Oh my goodness, I won't go because if I get stung, I might get itchy or something might happen. But I know it might happen, but it doesn't bother me now as much. I'll still go to do my job, because my job I love more than what may happen if I get stung. My job, what I do, and the animals I work with are more important than what they may or may not do to me, whether they're grumpy or not.
So can we distill some personal growth and leadership principles from what she's saying? Now, what I hear you say is you love what you do, right? And you've gotten to a point in which rejection, or the sting of rejection, you've actually gotten to that point in which that's not your focus anymore.
No.
It's actually the honey, it's the characteristics, it's working with the bees that you actually focus your mind on.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So as far as the rejection is concerned, can we begin to focus on what actually is the passion for you? Can we begin to focus on what is the honey for you in that situation and not the rejection? And I think that's what I'm learning from Sharon now. That for as long as you and I continue to focus on the sting of rejection, that's going to prevent us from getting the honey.
Definitely.
Thanks, Sharon. So look, your bees, what do you feed them?
What do I feed them?
Yeah. What do you give them for food? Because I'm guessing you want to keep your bees happy, right?
Yeah.
You want to
Definitely.
keep them productive.
Yep.
What do you feed them?
Our bees, I don't feed them. I find them the best place for them. So
Okay.
my husband and I spend probably 3 to 6 months of the year on the road. We travel a lot, and we look for food for them. That is our main priority, is to find them a continual source of food, and it has to be different fruit. If you ate bananas for the rest of your life, you wouldn't die. It would be very boring, but you wouldn't die. So it's the same for them. Although the same food is okay, it's better to have a combination of different proteins and different sugars, and that makes them the best they can be. So it's our job to move them around. For instance, this is why my husband's not here. He's just spent probably the last 2 days in a truck travelling our bees from Dwelling up down to Denmark. That's where they're going for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So every 6 to 8 weeks, our girls move. They move from one location to another. We range from probably the furthest point we've been is Northcliffe, and the furthest we've been is any other. Have bees will travel. So they go everywhere. And that's what our job is, to make sure they're well fed and they're healthy. That's what we do.
Awesome. So look, Sharon, still talking about rejection. You know, I'm guessing as far as this business is also concerned, you probably would have faced some business rejection. You know, perhaps talking to people, trying to merchandise your products and goods and services. Can you teach us what you've experienced as far as rejection is concerned, and perhaps how you dealt with the rejection?
How long have you got?
We've got some time.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things. We get rejected on a daily basis. That's business, unfortunately, and a lot of people are very lovely about it, and a lot of people are very unpleasant. So in finding, one instance is finding a home for our bees. We rely on the public, on public property, on people's private property, in exchange for a service of allowing us to put their bees on their property. I provide them with all the honey they can eat for their lifetime, so it's for as long as their family is alive. But people are scared of bees, so they'll say no. And some people say no rudely, and some people say no pleasantly. So if I stopped looking for places for my bees just because somebody has said no to me, they would die.
Wow.
They're more important to me than somebody who is perhaps ignorant, doesn't know what we do, doesn't understand how important, how they desperately need somewhere to go. So I keep going. I will spend 2 or 3 days with my daughter, driving up and down, leaving honey in people's mailboxes with notes, with "Can you help us?" putting ads on Facebook, putting ads in the newspapers. Can you help my bees? We might only get 2 people out of how many read the ad, but that overrides all the favours, because that's what I was looking for. That one person that will help us. So that's one instance. We get told, I got told to sharpen my pencil once, that I was out of touch with what I was doing. And this was by a huge store man who was running a big company, that my honey was too expensive for his store, and I needed to review my prices. I mean, I could have got really upset about that, but I just went to the next one. You've just got to find your niche, find where you belong, and people will appreciate you and some people won't. You've just got to keep going, because the people that you find are the people now that I'm friends with and I have been friends with for a very long time. The original people, we keep in touch with everyone that's come through my classes, everyone that has bought honey off me. I know who they are, and they override all the people that are horrible or say horrible things or don't want to know us. So, yeah.
Wow, good stuff. So again, what can we distill from this? I'm sure there are people who are perhaps in the process of starting a business, or you're actually running a business, or you're running an initiative. Now, what I hear Sharon say is, apart from being stung by bees, you're also going to be stung by people. You're going to face that rejection. But what do? You keep going. You keep looking for that one yes. I mean, the people listening to this or watching this on YouTube, or you're watching it on your laptop or on your iPad or whatever, and you're an entrepreneur, you want to start a business. Listen to what Sharon is saying. You just have to keep going. You just have to look for that individual that will say yes to you, because you're passionate about what you want to do. You're saying you're never going to give up. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for that. So Sharon, as far as business principles are concerned, if you have the opportunity to actually put something on a wide billboard, say maybe in the middle of Perth, what do you think you'll want people to know?
You can do it, I promise. It seems really daunting at the beginning, but most things, if you are persistent enough, you can do it. There is a way to do it. You just got to find it. You've just got to keep pegging away at it. So you can do it. You can do anything as long as you keep trying. I promise, because I didn't think we could do it, but I just was persistent, and you can do it.
So you have to be persistent.
You have to be persistent.
There has to be grit. There has to be determination to just go with it
you have to
and
be
never
really
give
stubborn.
up. Okay.
Like stubborn in the right way, though.
Wow.
Yeah, stubborn in the
Wow.
right, not stubborn like digging heels in like a donkey, but stubborn in the right way, like focused and keep going. Have an idea that you want to achieve and head for it. And if something gets in your way, you must go around. There will be a way around it some way.
Wow.
Or you might have to tweak your idea a little bit, maybe change it or take on advice from someone else that you hadn't thought of, tweak it a little bit and try another way. But there'll be a way to get to the end.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, come on, give a round of applause. That's awesome, Sharon. All right, so we continue. In say maybe the last 2, 3, 4 years, what would you say is the best investment that you've made?
I think investment in my family, believe it or not, is the best investment. We've raised our children to be as industrious as they can be. So without them helping me at home with their chores and their jobs, it sounds around the wrong way, but without their chores and the things they do for me, then I wouldn't have been able to do this. So I think that is probably a really good investment, is the core family unit. Another really good investment is older people. People who are a lot older than me, like who've been beekeepers and they're in their 80s and their 90s, spending time with them and actually listening to what they're saying and taking that on board has been another really good investment. Good. Because they know a lot more than I do. Good. And that I think listening to your elders and people who know more about whatever job you're doing, you might not agree with everything they say. They may have ideas you don't like, but if you pick the core points out of what a person is saying to you and take those core points and apply them to yourself, that amount of investment that you put in listening to that person is really important, I think.
Wow. That's good, Sharon. That's good, Sharon. So basically, I guess, look, you're saying something, but the way I'm decoding it is, whatever venture you're actually in, you need mentors. Do you know a lot of people actually try to reinvent the wheel? The wheel already has been invented. You don't have to reinvent it. But if you can find mentors, if you can find people, who you can say, look, this person has done this. Can I build on this person's success? Can I not make the mistake this person has made? Can I allow this person who has gone ahead to actually speak into my life? We all need mentors. We all need mentors, whether you're in business, whether it's family, whichever area you find yourself, you need someone who can actually hold your hand. You need someone you can be accountable to. Otherwise, guess what? The beginning of the year, a lot of us say, oh yeah, we have this New Year resolution. By the end of the first week, we're not doing whatever we said we resolved to do at the beginning of the year, because we have no one we're actually accountable to. So we all need mentors. We need someone to be able to say, yeah, this is right, this is not right, I've made this mistake, you don't have to make this mistake, you can build on my own successes. Thanks for that, Sharon. So from family perspective, if we send you to the moon, all right, or you have the opportunity maybe through Tesla, Elon Musk, to actually go to the moon, what 3 items, what 3 things will you take to the moon?
My family, my husband and my 2 kids. Because without them, as much as they drive me nuts, and I probably drive them crazy, but without them, all the rest of the stuff doesn't matter anyway.
Wow.
So without my family, there is no bee business, there is nothing else. So
That's good.
if you went with your iPad or your
That's
television
good.
or your book, what are you going to do with those things?
That's good. That's good.
So your family, then if you've got good family, or if you don't have family, have good friends.
Wow.
And then the rest will follow.
Wow.
The rest will follow.
Wow. So that even means, even in spite of rejection, especially from people,
Yep.
people still matter.
Yeah, of course. Always.
Wow.
Always.
That's awesome. So Sharon, going from there, what would you say is the worst advice you've seen being dispensed by people? People keep saying a particular thing and you just think, duh, this doesn't make sense.
Probably the worst thing is because I'm a girl, I can't do it.
Okay.
Because I'm small,
Okay.
I'm little.
Wow.
That it's a boy's job.
Wow.
But you can. It doesn't matter your height, your stature, how big or small you are. There's ways around things. You can find things to help you, or so to me that's silly.
So Sharon, I guess we're actually interested. How did you go through that transformation? I mean, especially in a field, in an industry where they think it's men's world.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you have to be a big bloke to be able to get stung by a bee, and still be able to be standing.
Yeah.
What exactly did you do to be able to overcome that typical mindset?
I changed what I did. I shrunk the boxes down and made them smaller so they weren't so heavy. We chose a smaller box. I bring a table with me.
Wow.
So I can put the stuff onto the table so I can do it. And just, I've worked with 3 or 4 different beekeepers over the years. And just, it didn't, and there is a couple of girls coming through and teaching I do classes, so teaching a lot of females actually come now. And there's a load of female beekeepers now. So it doesn't matter on your gender or your strength and stuff. You just have to find a way to do it. Change things a little bit to adjust it to suit you.
I love that. Look, a recurring theme in what you've been saying is that idea of find a way.
Yeah.
Find a way, which I think is still consistent with what we shared last month, which is the obstacle is the way. Find a way, right? Don't give up. Don't listen to the person who's rejected you. Don't listen to the person who is saying you're small, you're not big enough, you're not beautiful, or you're not handsome, or you don't have this, you don't have that. Don't listen to them. That's why I hear you say, right? Find a way around it. Reinvent yourself, right?
Yep.
Wow, that's good, Sharon. That's good. Let me say. So we've talked about business principles, right? We've talked about what you take to the moon, right? We've talked about what other things have we talked about? What you feed your bees.
Yep.
What else? What leadership principles, as far as business is concerned, do you think you can still share with our audience?
You've got to start somewhere. So don't pick a mountain. Don't start at the top. You have to start down the bottom. And by all means, look at what other people have done. Observe their businesses and
pick the eyes out of it. Pick the best bits that apply to you. If something doesn't look like it's going to work, it's okay to change your ideas. It's okay to but you have to do it. Don't let somebody else make you feel like your idea is stupid.
Okay.
Because it's not. If you need to change it, do it because you want to change it, or find another way to make it work. Like I've said to you, just keep plugging away. There's ways of doing it. Like then there'll be times where you think, oh my goodness, what am I doing? That's okay. You hit flat spots. But you will find the set of stairs and just find them and keep working your way up. And ask questions. If you get stuck, find your mentor. Go back to them and ask them. I've done X, Y, Z. Do you know what can I do? Where can I go? Sometimes we get stuck with places. I'll always ring my 80-year-old beekeeper and say, please, I don't know what's flowering. I don't know what this tree is. Can you help me? There'll always be someone who can help you. Pick a positive person. Somebody who makes you smile.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sharon. Now the other thing we were discussing before we started the show this morning, and you were telling me about the fact that you're beginning to look at the prospects of actually exporting this. Can you tell us a bit about that?
That is a very big hurdle.
Wow.
So speaking of mountains, we're a very small, insignificant in some eyes company. And to export, there is a lot of rules and regulations that you'll have to follow. So to actually get to that point, it will be a big investment in money and time. But it is something I am looking into, and just because it looks like it's a huge mountain at the moment, I'm not going to give up on it. I will. It might mean it will take me a little bit longer than perhaps what I thought. But exporting it's a beautiful product. I believe in what I do. I believe in my product. So I know other people will enjoy our product as well because it's raw, it's natural, it's how it should be.
So can you tell us a bit about the various products we have here?
Okay, so our honey is honey. I don't know if you guys can see this, but honey comes in many colours. So I've got a dark honey here, which is blackbutt, and a light honey, which is wandoo. So same bees, different trees is the motto. So all the bees never change. Well, they die off, and they regenerate. But all the bees produce honey according to the nectar of the flower, and the taste, the flavours change. So honey is not just honey. Just like each person is individual, each hive is individual, and they each produce, honey according to their surroundings. So we have lots of different honeys at different times of the year. We do creamed honeys, which are whipped honeys. We use all the byproducts, so in the video. So we make, this was an idea I saw on Gumtree or YouTube or somewhere about making wraps. So we use the beeswax. We make soaps. We use everything we can think of. I've actually got another 3 ideas kicking around in my brain at the moment, which I'm just trying to tweak before I execute them. So you've got to. I think with business you have to be willing to change and adjust and adapt. Because people in general, unfortunately, we get bored. So if you see the same thing over and over, you get accustomed to it, and then you won't see it anymore.
I can relate to that fully.
So you see, you go home every day, you just see it, and you go there and you leave. So it's the same with business. You have to have ideas where you can tweak things or change things and bring people's focus back onto what you're trying to do. And it has to be done, fairly regularly. So that's why little ideas, and when something doesn't work, you can fade that out and then bring something in.
Awesome. And I'm guessing, Sharon, you brought some of these products, that our audiences can actually,
you can purchase them
purchase
if you wish
outside.
To,
Wow.
And I'll answer any of your questions. Happy to, not a problem.
All right. Well, we can actually take some questions here this morning. Does anyone have a question for Sharon? Any question about bees?
They're all shy.
Okay. All right. I think I can see someone raising their hand.
My name is Chidi.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Chidi, and I met you back. My question is about you. I'm very happy that you've been able to explain in details how you started and how far you've gone. And to be very honest, personally, this is a motivating talk that I'm motivated. I'm feeling pumped with what I've heard because with the way you sounded or what you said, it came like you were not expecting it. And I mean, something that looked really small, like you said, your husband just gave you the bag.
Yeah.
And on a normal day, they would have just, but it's grown to become a business. My question is, did you ever have any time where you doubted, you had doubts on your ability to really get this thing done, and how did you resolve it? I know you said that, I mean, there are times when you went, like took the bees to places meant to use the land, and you were rejected, and how some company like owners like rejected your proposal, you know. I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
Seeing how, I mean, the responsibility that came with it, the cost that came with it, and I mean the task as well that came with it. Did you ever have a time where you had doubts in yourself, and how did you manage it?
Always. I always have doubts. In answer to your question, I also breed queens. So I actually have to have a pretty reasonable amount of skill to graft grubs of a certain size, which then the beehive will turn into a queen. A very special job.
Wow.
And there's been times when I've done it and my failure rate has been huge. And I feel flat, like a pancake, because it shouldn't be like that. And I will question myself, did I do the right thing? Did I do it on the wrong day? What did I do wrong? Did I stuff it up? And there's been times where I've actually said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I really don't, I'm no good at this. I've had that, actually quite recently this year, I was being a bit touch and go. But I always go back to when I feel really terrible or I've been stung on the head because I have to actually do it without my suit on. I cannot wear my suit. When I'm grafting, I have to be suitless.
Wow.
So it's a big thing. I don't like being stung on my face. But what I go back to is, why did I do this in the first place? And I always go back to the fact that I thoroughly enjoy what I do. It doesn't matter that I feel flat about that specific day. I know I've done better before. I know I can do it. I've just got to get focused back on what I know I can do and try again. So I think you've got to build up a feeling inside of you that it doesn't matter what happened or what has gone wrong or what may have gone wrong, is not to think about it and just keep going, like try again. I know I can do it. And like at the moment, I'm in a bit of a flat spot myself. I'm tired, I've been working flat out for years, I am literally exhausted. But I know that it will pass. That feeling will go. It will pass. It always does, it will go. I know if I just keep plugging away, I slow myself down, and I pick away, I concentrate on my family, that feeling that you say of being flat, it will pass. It always does. It never hangs around. It always passes. And that's what I just think. It will pass, and I will get back on track and I'll just keep going.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Come on. I love that. It will pass. Any other person? Any other question? For Sharon?
They're all, their brains are overloaded.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've talked about a lot of things,
Yeah.
business principles, life principles, which really for me, I think these are things that are transferable, right? Business principles, you can apply it even in life. You know, sports principle, you can apply in life, you can apply in business. I mean, spiritual principles, you can apply in life, in business, in sports, and, you know, you can just transfer them from one thing to the other. So, look, Sharon, I really want to thank you, you know, for making out the time to come and just share your experience with us this morning. It's been wonderful, even more so coming to the bee farm, you know, and doing those few shots, you know, running away from the bees so we don't get stung. I think it was a really good experience for us. Okay, wow, I think you have a question. All right, we'll take, that'll be the last one.
David.
Bees are very fascinating, and I know there's a queen bee, but I'm confused. What does the queen bee manage in the beehive?
What does she manage? Believe it or not, even though she is the queen bee, she does not rule as such. So she has her set of attendants, so she has the females that care for her, and without them, she does not exist. So she relies on her body of workers to keep her as the queen. So they are the ones, in retrospect, that actually dictate whether or not she keeps her job. So if she fails them in any way, if she doesn't do her job the way that they see fit, for instance, she's supposed to lay 2,000 eggs a day. Okay, that is her job. 2,000 eggs a day. Wow. So if her egg laying slows down and diminishes to a point where it's no longer sustainable, they will actually take matters into their own hands and they will kill her. And they will make her replacement, her daughter. So whilst she is the queen and she sits on the throne as such, it is her body of her daughters that are most important. Wow. They are what make her what she is.
Oh, she doesn't feel rejected.
Well, she possibly does.
That's a good point. Absolutely. That's really good. So, another question.
Wait, so the beehive queen management system is basically like our government nowadays. If they don't like it, they kick you out.
Yes, you're rejected, right? And kicked out. Wow, that's fascinating. That's an awesome parallel there. So guys, what's my I guess in rounding this off this morning, my last statement to you will be, what will be the cost of inaction on your part this morning? What's the cost of inaction to you? Staying in the same place, remaining in the same place, remaining in the rut? Or rather, what's that action step that you want to take based on, what I've shared, based on Sharon's experience this morning? What's going to be the action step for you? So if you have a paper, if you've been writing, if you've been using your digital device, I think this is a good time for you to note just one thing that you're going to do to actually begin to change this mindset, this concept called rejection, which a lot of people, have been thrown under the bus, by. To begin to see rejection as something that you can actually kind of like get immune to and become exactly what God has designed you to become. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been an honor, it's been a pleasure to be able to share this with you this morning. Thanks so much, Sharon. It's awesome having you here. I'll leave you with KG.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so awesome that I can sit backstage and I've got my own monitor there and I can watch everything, So it's like, great, I can hear everything. I can watch everything that's going on backstage. Just remember, you're a piece of that puzzle. Do you know the puzzles never look the same? We get kids to make puzzles and do puzzles, and can you imagine you're trying to put a puzzle together? You put that one doesn't fit in there, isn't it? What do? You put it aside and you wait for the next time when it does fit into that spot. So that's probably what it looks like, but you need to recognize what piece you are, and I just thank you for that. Thank you so much, Lakers. Before we go on, we just have a word from one of our sponsors, and I'll just like to call up. I'll say one thing about the sponsors. They've also taken a risk to be part of this, to provide a service for us free so that we can make this free to you. They've taken that risk. Not knowing us, and we've just shared the vision, and we will acknowledge them, but we just want a word from one of our sponsors who is also on the board. Nigel Onamade, please.
Hi, this is just to announce that we're having a concert on the 26th of May this year. It's the next meeting is going to be 26th of May, right? 30th of June. Okay, sorry. So 26th of May, Carey Baptist College. The title of the concert is Bridges Concert. Basically, the vision is to build a bridge between the young and the old, between I would say, Australians and the true blue Australians. It's a concert of different professionals coming together. Basically, all those people on that list have either studied music in school or studied in university, or they're working as full-time musicians, but all of them are people of faith. So they're coming together. I don't think anything like that has been done in Perth. And it's going to be real good fun. So please, encouraging all of you to please be there. 26th of May, 7 p.m. at Carey Baptist College Auditorium. And it's a free concert. But we're going to collect an offering at the end to support some charities that we have stated there. And we're building bridges between us and those charities as well, between the musicians. It's all bridges. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we come to that point where we would also like to open up the opportunity for you if you would like to make a donation. We have some of the girls there, they'll just pass the basket around, but we'd also like to acknowledge our sponsors at this time. As you watch the video, we'll have the baskets passed around if you'd like to donate. Thank you so much. Definitely, if you do recognize our sponsors, we would also like you to say thank you to them on our behalf. And before we go, we always like to let you know what's going to happen, our next event. Like you've seen, the Bridges concert will take place in May, but we're coming up on the 30th of June. So I'd like you to write that down in your diaries. The 30th of June, we're meeting here again. So we're skipping May, but we're going to June the 30th. And we're going to be discussing audacious. Do you know, and that means fearlessly bold. And there was someone who was talking, and he was speaking to an audience, and he was trying to talk about being fearlessly bold. And I'll just say something. And he had to go to a lady and said, "Look, what if you meet a lion in the wild? What do you do?" True. What do you do? What would you do if you came up and you met a lion in the wild? And he asked this lady who was a professional, "What do you do?" And surprisingly, the lady said, "You stand. You don't run." That's what he told her. She told him, "You don't run when you meet a lion in the wild." And then she says, "You stand, and then you make some noise. You actually make some noise." So, because what he does is he tries to intimidate you because of his size. And so if you run, he'll chase you. But if you stand and then you make some noise, like, who's this? but when we're sure about ourselves, we can make noise. Is that right? And that's what we're trying to do here. So that's to build up to what we'll be talking about, fearlessly bold. We meet the lion, and yes, we stand. We meet the lion, and yes, we'll make some noise. I'm gonna make some noise now. Yes, and I'm telling you, you're gonna be the best. We want you to be the best that you can ever be. Thank you so much for sitting through. Fortunately, like you have seen, one of our sponsors, the Charcoals, has provided food for us, the chicken and salad, awesome. I tell you, for free. Seriously, we're just so encouraged. That encourages us. Even though we've had a few rejections, we've had people who said, no, we'll take the risk. You go for it. You make this free for the community and impact lives, and you and I can go out there and influence the world with a positive message that you have been called to bring. Thank you so, so much. If you don't know anyone that's seated by your side, while we're out there, it's a lovely time to network, tell us who you are, talk to somebody, and please don't go away without at least introducing yourself to one or two persons. Thank you very much for coming, and refreshments are served. Thank you so much.
So today at this edition of Tribe of David, we talked about rejection, the sting and the antidote. So we talked about, of course, everyone faces rejection once or a lot of the time in their life, and how to cope with that, and how to bounce back from that, and just different strategies and how to face it.
We had a special guest from a bee farming company, how she faces the sting of the bee but still bounces back, goes there every single day to get honey. The rejection she's faced from other companies as well when going to try and get land for her bees so that they can have a variety of plants and trees to get nectar from, and like all the critique that she got talking about how it's a man's job, it's not a woman's job. It was really fascinating. And we also, what I got away is like there was a lot of quotes about how people got turned down from the idea they had in mind, like Steve Jobs, Thomas Edison, and other people. And what I learned is that when people say that, it's a chance for you to reevaluate your idea, fine-tune it, and present it back again.
Yeah. And then I think also talking about rejection, especially when we're talking about Sharon and the bees, she goes there, she knows, she feels the sting, but she keeps on going back because of the honey, because of that goal, because of what she's gonna get. And I feel like that's really applicable to our lives and what we do and how we face rejection and the sting of rejection every day.
Hi everyone, my name is Chidi Okpechi, and I do music by God's grace. Today has been amazing. I've learned that when you have a vision or a dream to achieve something that is big, whatever is big must have I've learned that no matter the rejection that comes your way, you do not focus on the rejection. You do not focus on the challenges. You do not focus on the situation, especially when you know what you're pursuing is a passion or is something you're passionate about, and it's something that leads to your destiny. You don't focus on those things that would want to pull you down, but rather focus on the things that would give you energy and strength to keep moving. And one day, like the lady said, you will get there.